welcome to another episode of Takoyaki Party. I am your host, Osaka Joe. I'm joined by Matt and Ryan.
Hey.
Say some stuff.
Hello.
Alright. So with our... I don't want to say it's a new format or anything, but kind of. I noticed that, not a lot of people pay attention to the news or, actually, I don't think anybody's ever commented about our news. So we're going to try and keep it, pretty short. And for this episode, we only have two pieces of news. Let's go over some of them. All two of them. The first one is that they announced a Blu-ray release of all of the music videos for NMB's prior singles.
Yes.
And so now you can watch it in high resolution, I guess, which is kind of weird.
Yes.
We're already in
Watch
2018.
Disc 3.
Disc 3. What's on Disc 3, Ryan?
I'm sure you can guess what's on Disc 3.
No, I can't guess.
No.
That's what we asked.
Exactly.
Niji no Tsukurikata.
Okay. That's it?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, you can also watch all the summer singles because they're all in dirty bikinis.
Yeah.
No, this is gonna be the first time that full versions of the songs will be in high definition. So
are they not in high definition on this, the singles, the music
DVDs?
videos?
Of course not.
Yeah.
No, it's horrible DVD.
Okay.
Yeah,
you can also buy the DVD version too, right?
Yeah. Why would you do that? But okay.
Because you're a cheap ass.
Yeah. Also, Akarin's zipper is on it. The solo zipper.
Yeah.
That you can watch on YouTube for free. Yes, it's on the box.
And in high definition.
Yeah, and in high definition. So literally there's no reason to watch it there. But yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna come out. And there's a voting competition that's gonna go on. I don't know what the vote's for. Maybe it's some weird request hour thing. We don't know yet. They have yet to announce what it's for, I think. Yeah. Is that correct, guys?
Yeah, I think the only thing we know is the DVD comes with 3 tickets and the Blu-ray comes with 5 tickets.
Oh, did it say?
Oh, I thought you said that. No.
No. Andy was speculating. I don't really believe that, but
yeah, I don't even know what these tickets are for. Zenkoku? I don't know.
Yeah. No, probably not.
Okay, so if you're interested in that, you can check it out. I don't know if any of us here are interested in it.
I'm probably gonna buy
maybe.
it. But
interested in what the voting is for.
Yeah, maybe if they announce what that's for, then we'll buy it. Yeah, sure. How much is it?
It's 14,000 yen.
Ugh. Ouch.
It's like a box, 5-disc box, so it's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. I do remember when the AKB Blu-ray set came out. I did buy that.
It was kind of a ridiculously large amount of money, right?
I think it was approaching Niban.
Yeah, I remember it being. I remember thinking, "Wow, that's expensive."
The one with the blue cover.
Yeah. I mean, they released a couple of versions of that too. They even did the. I don't know if you guys remember this. Last year, they did for the Blu-ray box, right, of the MVs, the AKB MVs. They did members would go to Tsutaya and then it will give you the box.
Wota.
And then they broadcast it on showroom. Oh yeah, now I remember. It was 10,000 yen per box. I remember thinking that, holy shit, I have to pay to go to Nara, and then I get 5 seconds for 10,000 yen.
Oh, what a deal!
Yes, I didn't do it, but I thought about it.
You get those photos too.
That's 2,000 yen per second.
Yeah. And the thing is, you're not guaranteed. So there's 2 members behind the register, right? So one of them will write your dedication for you, and one of them will give you the box. So you're not even guaranteed to get which girl you want to talk to.
For your 5 seconds. Okay.
For your 5 seconds.
But
yes.
So if you're interested in the NMB PV, you can check it out. I don't know when do you know when it's gonna go on sale?
It's August
5th. Early August.
August 10th. Yeah.
All right, early August. So check it.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I'm pretty sure they heard it before. So yeah. So if we're gonna talk about some of the more recent news, yesterday they announced Zenkoku Tour. Zenkoku Tour. And so they're gonna be touring all around Japan.
Yes.
NMB is
Yep,
certain
yep.
teams, certain senbatsu. Pretty cool, pretty excited. Because if you haven't been to an NMB concert, it's really, it's pretty. They're like the best events, right?
Yeah,
You,
I mean,
wouldn't you say?
it's basically like, if you don't go to a concert, like you're losing like half of the whole experience, basically.
The other
Like-
half's the handshake events.
Well, no, there's the like the TV shows and stuff like that. But I think like especially with NMB, like I can't speak for like other groups because I don't watch other groups. But like with NMB, like you have to see them live, whether it's in the theater or whether it's concerts. Like there's like different like levels of the live concerts. Like I remember, so we had this conversation with Jeff the other day, right? He was saying that he's seen the arena concert, so he wants to try like the smaller ones because
Mhm.
you get a different experience with the smaller ones. Like, I mean, you must know this, Joe, right? You've been to like the big one in like you've been Osaka
Yeah.
Joe Hall, you've been in Kobe, and you've also been in like a really tiny one in like Fukuoka.
Yeah, Zep Fukuoka,
Yeah,
which I don't
it's-
think exists anymore.
Zep is like, oh my god, Zep is horrible. Like, but it's like a live house. Really, literally, it's like for bands and stuff. But yeah, it's really
Yeah,
small.
but it's really cool. So I did go to the one in Fukuoka, and it's like I didn't know how to do it. So the first time I went, like we came like really late, and so I didn't know you had to like line up, and so like we came really late. We were all the way in the back, and it's still pretty cool. And then the next day, like we realized that I was with my other friend who like because Taijo was supposed to go with me, and then she had to back out at the last minute. So like I brought my random friend from Tsushima, and yeah, so and we went and then we lined up and we got pretty close, and I think that's the really cool thing is that you get pretty close and it's standing room only, and it's a really good feeling.
and it's like really packed. So it's sort of we were both in the Osaka one, right? It was kind of horrible because of like so many people. There were so many people, but like it's part of the atmosphere, right? Like everyone was like really hyped up and like because like the girls are so close to you. It's like, yeah, it's a live house. It's a live house, right? You could be like at the very back, and it would be like a really good seat in the arena concert.
Yeah, I don't think it was really packed. I think that's typical if you've ever been to like any band's event in a small arena.
Oh, okay.
So
I've
I don't think
never
it.
been
I
there.
actually don't think it's that terrible. But like yeah, compared to like a big concert venue where there's seats and stuff, and then everybody like stands whenever they're performing and sits because it's like church. It's not like that.
Yeah, it is.
No, I mean the Lifehouse tour is not like that.
No, you're all standing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're always standing. You're all hype. It's pretty. It's really cool.
Yeah, but
So,
the thing is, this time around, it's not a live house though.
It's like a cultural
not?
center. No, they're like
Yeah, it's a
the different
cultural
like,
center. It's
prefectural
like-
cultural centers.
So
and
if
stuff.
you guys saw the Sosenkyo last year in Okinawa, that's a cultural center.
Well, I saw
A
like
small
the
auditorium,
seating
basically.
capacity.
It's really
Somebody
tiny,
like tweeted
2,000.
this the seating
It's like
capacity.
2,000,
yeah, it's like
3,000 -ish.
1,000, 2,000, 3,000.
Yeah, it's
It's
really
still pretty
tiny.
good.
It's smaller than like Oryx Hall, so it's small.
I don't think either of us know how big Works Hall is.
Oryx Hall is like maybe 3,000, something like that.
But I thought Zep Nagoya or Zep Fukuoka was really small.
Zep Fukuoka, I've never been to Zep Fukuoka, but like for example, like all the Zeps I've been to, like Zep Tokyo, Zep Osaka, Zep Namba, and stuff like that, max would probably be like 1,500,
Mm.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's like
Either way.
Yeah.
Either way, I think Lifehouse tour would be definitely worth going to if you want to see them in small venues. It's really good if you're an overseas fan. You know, we can help you get tickets and stuff. Maybe.
maybe,
But, like-
it's probably hard to get tickets actually.
But the thing is that all the dates are on weekdays. So, like, they're really targeting fans who can't travel, I think.
Yeah,
Because they only
yeah.
want people from those.
people
good
who live
places.
in those places. Like
Yeah.
if you see like how like Sayaka, Miru, like, Yuri, Akarin tweeted about it, they were talking about like, oh, we will go to you guys because they have like a crap ton of dates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 dates.
Mm-hmm.
That's not counting the expected Osaka date. That's really weird. They don't have an Osaka date here, so people are expecting them to add an Osaka date, which is
Or a
gonna be
Tochigi
like
date.
No, that's not gonna happen. Which is gonna be probably the 8th anniversary.
Yeah, probably in a bigger venue too.
It's probably
So
gonna be like
probably-
Joe Hall again.
Yeah. So, if you are a foreign fan and you're interested, I guess you could try contacting one of us. Maybe we can get you tickets. I don't know. It
Yeah.
might be hard. And plus, like, if there's like photo ID checks and name ID checks, we probably can't go with you to any of these events, right? Because there's no way I can make it to like Hiroshima on like a Tuesday, right? Because I work till like 5:30 and then maybe overtime, and then I get back at like 6:15. I'm not even sure if I can really make the Nagoya date, which would really upset me.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try. Which events are you guys thinking about hitting up? Start with Matt.
I would like to go to the Tokyo one, but I have to do some dumb work stuff. Actually, so it's lucky because most of these dates fall during my summer break. So that's probably my advantage, is I actually can go to these places because I'm free. I have nothing else. They're all weekdays. But I'm probably gonna go to the Kawasaki one, the one in Kanagawa. One, because it's close to me. Two, because there's a Panda Express. And then the other one I was going to go to is the Sendai one.
Oh, you're going to Sendai one?
Yeah. Because I have a friend that
Sendai's
lives.
like right next to you, right?
Nah.
It's like two of
Right next to me is, I guess, depending on how you want to find out. I think it's like a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours Shinkansen ride, maybe.
What? No,
Oh,
it's
really?
like 1
No.
hour Shinkansen ride from me.
No, because that's 1 hour Shinkansen rides get up to Tochigi.
Shinkansen?
Yeah.
There's no Shinkansen to Tochigi.
Yeah, there
What are
is.
you talking
Utsunomiya.
Is there? Is it a small?
Yeah,
a
it's
slow
on the
Shinkansen?
same. It's the same one you take from Tokyo.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it goes up to Sendai or Akita or some bullshit place. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's really far away.
But I'm gonna go there, yeah, because I have a friend there, so we'll try pooling our resources together. I think that's the big advantage we have as foreign fans is that, we all try to get each other to go with us.
Yeah.
Because you may overbuy
Yeah.
tickets, like
That's the danger, actually.
yeah.
Yeah, but going with people is obviously a lot more fun. Like when I went to the election with like Ryan, or I sat next to Ryan because he got me a seat next in the Yuri section. It was so much more fun because stuff happens, and then you just like talk about it like with your friend or whatever.
Yeah.
It's way better than going alone. Going alone is like
It's horrible.
terrible. I've done it. I've done it like twice.
Yeah, it's also like not to go back to the election, which I really don't want to talk about again. But it's like when like Joe was not getting called. Like Joe was like really really stressed. Like, oh, she's not gonna get called. She's not gonna get called. So I could like tell him no. I think she has a chance. Like don't worry about it. And also when she got called, it was like yeah. And because we were around the NMB section, like everyone was cheering for her. That was really nice.
How about you, Ryan?
I want to go to the Tokyo and Kanagawa one. So the good thing is that I could, because it's in Tokyo and Kanagawa, I could just like leave a little bit earlier, or maybe I can probably even make it like with my normal time. So I want to go to that one, and then definitely I'm gonna try Hiroshima and Hyogo, because Hiroshima is B2 and Kobe is under 19. And
Yeah, lolicon.
Joe's gonna be there, so
Yeah, but I'm not. I didn't say I want to go.
okay. Yeah,
Actually, I would go if I could, but
it's Kobe and it's a Monday.
Yeah.
I mean this.
I don't even think I have vacation yet.
Probably. Yeah, so the Kobe one's probably gonna be like the hottest ticket, I guess. Well, except for the Tokyo, probably the hottest ticket. Then maybe
Tokyo
Kobe.
ones, yeah. I think even Sendai might. Who knows?
Sendai probably not, because it's it's close-ish to Tokyo, but
Well, I think because they all have the Senbatsus, and so like Sayaka's and all the Senbatsu ones, so everyone wants to go.
yeah, definitely. So the thing is that if you can choose a lot, right, you just choose the one closest to you, and then Tokyo is the one closest to everybody, so that's where they'll go. And obviously Kobe is like beside Osaka, so everyone will try to go to that one too, I guess. Yeah. Andy and I were talking about going to Sendai and Hokkaido too. So, and the good thing is that, yeah, as Matt said, it's summer vacation. So, I mean, we have some flexibility there, but depends. The thing is, like, the venues are really small, so we don't really know if we can win. Although I think, like,
one of them is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying, like, some of these, like, are really far away. Like, I think, like, it will be easy to win, but the thing is, like, it's really weird. Like, so there's one in Ishikawa. Like, I don't even know where Ishikawa is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to people who live in Ishikawa, but like, there's one in Ishikawa, and then the venue is like, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 size. I think they can't fill that because, like, no one's gonna go to Ishikawa.
I think Ishikawa is like, on the northern side of.
Yeah, it's next to Fukui and I think Gifu, so it's like kind of north of.
So yeah,
Kyoto.
it's Nagoya-ish, right? It's Chubu,
Yeah.
like north.
But it's probably like, but it's north, right? So north of Gifu.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like super countryside. I know someone.
Also, got to see which one of these.
It's
places
also very
is,
seaside.
It's
on the
Japan.
Which one of these
seaside.
places is? Are any of these tour dates during like Obon season?
Yeah, all the August ones.
Well, I have like a week off sometime in August.
I
because of
I
Obon.
think the Sendai and Hokkaido ones are the ones smack dab in the middle of
And
Obon
Obon.
season. Yeah, that week.
Yo, Hokkaido, let's go.
Okay, you want to go, Joe? Like I told
Maybe.
you.
Let me see when Obon is and if I can make it.
Yeah. I mean, like Andy, we could all. Yeah, okay, we shouldn't be doing this on the podcast, but
Well, if there's somebody out there that also wants to go with us,
yeah,
maybe we can win 4 tickets.
Oh, yeah, it's also because it's summer break. You get the Seishun Kipu 18 pass.
I don't want to sit on the train for 8 hours, man.
Well, I'm just saying that as like, hey, for people who like Joe,
Yeah,
maybe he can make it. Like, if money's an issue, it's a very economical way.
Yeah, I don't want to Seishun all the way from here to like
Tsushima.
Hokkaido.
Tsushima.
Jesus
It's gonna
Christ.
take you like 2 days or something.
Tsushima? You think a train goes there? There's a Tsushima in Nagoya, so I can make it to that one.
Yeah,
that's fine.
So is the Tsushima ferry not JR?
I don't know.
If there's a JR one, you can use station on it. So, for example, in Hiroshima, there's a ferry. You know the Miyajima Island, right? Like off.
Yeah.
Hiroshima.
Yeah.
There's actually a JR ferry. So you could.
Yeah.
So if you had like JR pass, you could actually use the JR pass to get through that one. It's really.
Because I don't think you can use it on the
Yeah.
buses though. Because like JR buses, I don't think you can use JR pass
Oh.
on them.
Yeah, no. It's all.
I think it's just
only
trains.
I guess, but I think the ferry counts as part of the train, whatever. I'm pretty sure you could use a JR pass on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the JR ferry was between Tsushima and Fukuoka or like Tsushima and Busan. I don't know.
Busan.
Whatever. I don't know why you're laughing. The ferries to Busan were a lot quicker.
Yeah,
and probably cheaper. Anyway, whatever. That's neither here nor there. So we told you guys what dates we're going to. If you guys are interested, we'll probably get some. We'll come back later, give some live reports and stuff, report on it. But like, I don't know about you guys. I'm really excited. Like, I haven't been to like an NMB concert since like 6th anniversary maybe.
Wow,
So-
that's a long time ago. 2 years ago.
So I'm jazzed, dude. I'm hella jazzed.
Well, realistically, you can only make the Nagoya one, right? Assuming no Hokkaido Obon.
Yeah, we'll see when Obon is. Hopefully, I can make some of it, 'cause
Yeah.
that's pretty rad. And plus, it would be a good excuse to visit Hokkaido, right?
Yeah. That's my reasoning. Like, it's an excuse to go see Hokkaido and eat the food
And it's in summer where like it's not terrible.
there. Exactly. So yeah,
All right, that wraps it up for news. That was not as quick as I expected it to be, but it's okay. It's 20 minutes ish. And then we'll go to the more popular part of our podcast, which apparently is our meta discussion. Again, if you like the news, or if you don't like the news, or if you have like opinions on whether you like to listen to our meta discussion, feel free to leave comments on the YouTube, tweet at us, or if you listen to it on Libsyn, I think there's like a commenting method there too, because I think our RSS feed has like abilities to read comments. So yeah, just let us know. And in this meta discussion, what I want to talk about is that I think one of the points of this podcast is that we want to get more people into our community, right? Like, I think we're really proud of what we've built up in the NMB community. We want to get more people involved, because when you're with us, like, I feel like you get more access to certain things, right? Like, not like you get to go into like your locker rooms or whatever, but like you're
access.
yeah, but you're just more aware of like things that are going on. And I think one of the things we like about our community expanding is that because there's so much things going on in like the idol universe, in any idol group's universe, by having more people, like you'll be able to spread like you'll have like a specialization. Like maybe you'll be interested in a certain member, or maybe you'll watch a TV show that no one else watches, or maybe you just have a different perspective on different things that you like about the group. And then by having more people in the community, we can see like more of that kind of stuff like kind of come out, right? And I guess the one thing that I feel like prevents a lot of people from like really joining the community is their Japanese level, right? Have you guys experienced any of this? I don't even know what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Experience this, but like it seems that like whenever we post on stage about something, right? Like there are people that like have outdated information because they don't speak Japanese, that they're so reliant on somebody else to like kind of carry like the discussion for them, I guess. Or like we always hear about how like NMB's weak because like they don't have a variety show like AK Bingo, right? And AK, like anything bingo has been like a joke among us like NMB fans, because we're just like, that's like the only thing you can watch, right? And so like I don't know, it just really sucks that like we can't pull in any new fans because like they don't know better Japanese. Like I'm not saying you ought to be like Japanese JLPT N2, right? But at the very least, you should be at least like trying to like learn a little bit more Japanese, you know?
I think the unfortunate reality is that I mean I can't even say it's unfortunate. The reality is that these are Japanese idols, right? And their media is for Japanese consumption. Like no one, like not even AKB or Kayaki Zaka or Nogizaka comes up and says, "Okay, let's cater to international fans." Like no fucking way. They don't give a shit about any of you, right? So so like no, even like the Sekai Senbatsu thing, which is stupid, like the World Senbatsu thing, it's not. It's 100% for Japanese fans. They don't care about international fans. So that's the unfortunate reality. So the thing with like NMB is that like we keep harping on it. Like NMB has a lot of media. People keep saying, "Oh, NMB has no shows." Like the like Gainin has been like 5 years ago. Like why doesn't NMB have a new show?
What's
Like,
Gainin for?
NMB has a lot of shows, man. The thing is like the shows just aren't like in a like a bite-sized like structure that everyone understands. So we keep talking about like we keep joking about bingo, right? But like Joe has said this before, like the reason that bingo is so popular is that it's like there's a structure that people understand. Like they can do the shogi whatever, like the honest thing, shojiki shogi, and they can do the dodgeball thing. Like I don't know, they have zero new ideas, but they just keep like repeating new stuff, and they keep repeating these stuff, and then people like it because they understand the structure, and like they're so excited. Like every year, oh, they're gonna be doing the lucky girl rankings. Oh, I have to watch because like Yukirin might be like second to the last place this year or something. I don't care, right? So I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm like describing this properly, but it's that like NMB doesn't have a bingo show. Yes, NMB doesn't have a bingo show, but
yeah, you described it properly.
yeah. But the thing is, like bingo, like they have a lot of other stuff. Like they have the YNN. They have like Manabu-kun is a really high-rated show. Then they have YNN. They have Kawaya, and they have all these other things.
You have YouTube stuff too.
Yeah, they have YouTube stuff. Like for example, like Akarin's YouTube obviously is like the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then like the
Anchu's
YouTube stuff and
yeah.
whatever. So like I'm not saying this as an excuse. Look, so I understand that like the bingo stuff and the that time slot, the Geinin one, like whatever, like the Kayaki Nogizaka's does. Like I understand that those like are very good like ways to get fans, but you can't say that NMB's hard to get into because they don't have any media, because that's wrong.
Yeah. Matt,
Yeah.
say something.
Yeah, I would say like I got more into NMB because I started watching some of their shows. Like, so I watched Gaming 1 and 2, and a big part of that was because they were subtitled by fans. So there were some like English subtitles. So because it was all comedy based, and so like Japanese comedy is mostly like slapstick stuff. But like when they're doing like the manzai stuff, where they're like telling a story, you have to actually know what they're saying. So that's where the subtitles help. So I think having people on the other side who can translate it for you is very helpful.
Do we know who translated Genin 2, Joe?
I thought we did everything.
Did we?
So I think
it was like Teppen subs or whatever. Is that you guys?
Yeah,
was that? Yeah, that was us.
That's a surprise. I forgot who, but like people would quote my own blog against me. They're like, "Yeah, but this guy said something." It's like, that was me, man.
I don't remember I don't remember doing Geinin 2. I remember doing Geinin 3.
I think Geinin 2 was probably done by like Smilodon.
I think it was Smilodon, yeah.
And I think Craig timed. There was also this other guy there was like a Nagisa fan that used to like Delesh. Yeah, that guy used to like time like a crap ton of stuff.
Oh, did he?
And then yeah, and then he'd probably just hand it off to Smilodon to sub or something.
I see. So they did Geinin 2.
I was gonna say about like having a format, I guess like NMB Manabu-kun has like a format, has like a bingo format. It's all about like the lecture, they ask the questions, the members answer the questions, and then at the end they have like a who is the smartest girl, who is the dumbest girl, and then they have like a like a Batu game or whatever for them. So that's definitely, I think, if you're looking for a bingo-esque show, NMB to Manabu-kun is probably your option.
2 NMB 2 Manabu-kun.
No, I said toe. Did I?
Toe. No, yeah. The thing with Manabu-kun is that it's not an idol show though. It's a variety show. So
it's a learning show too.
Yeah. Well,
the name.
It's an entertainment show, right? So if you learn something from it, then that's fine. But the structure is like to teach you something. But like the idols are there to look cute and to react to whatever.
Say funny, dumb stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not like AK Bingo where
they're the focus.
Like, all the focus is the girls. Yeah. So I understand why Manabu-kun is not that popular compared to Bingo.
The other problem with Manabu-kun and why like subs were virtually impossible is because it used to be an hour long.
Yeah, now it's 30 minutes.
That's way too much to ask for like any. I don't want to say any, right? Because some of us are watching Produce 48, and like the subs came out today, right? The program broadcast yesterday.
Yeah, because like,
and that's a really fast turnaround.
Korean fan subbers
are crazy.
Yeah, crazy and fast. The thing is, like, because I don't speak Korean, so I can't say anything about the quality of it. Like, I haven't watched it, but based on experience on like Korean dramas, like, based on experience on like watching fan sub like Japanese stuff, I can tell you that like some of them are wrong. Well, no, like yeah. So I can't speak to the quality of the subs of the produce stuff, but it's probably pretty good.
Well, I think that was probably before, but like nowadays, when like dramas broadcast in Japan, I know they all are mandatory like broadcasted with subtitles, so I think it's a lot easier to like translate the subtitles. So maybe the quality of fan subs has improved. I don't know. I haven't watched English subtitled dramas in a really long time.
Yeah, most shows, right? All shows have closed captioning, and somehow these people are able to get the closed captioning scripts. I don't know how they do it. So if you translate off of the closed captioning scripts, that's pretty easy actually, and you can get like really good translations out of it.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to play it by ear. Just takes really long.
So here's the thing, like kind of a counterpoint to like what Matt was saying, right? Is like the translations got him into NMB, and since Matt didn't know that we were in Teppen subs, a lot of the translation has been like is really tiring. Like people like I don't know. People would like always request stuff to be translated, and I would look at it, and it was like really, really boring, right? Like it was boring to watch, and it would be boring to translate because there's a lot of like, stuff like or and all this other like all this random like back talk that takes a while to like make sure you get it right, to make sure it fits correctly, to make sure like there's enough time for whoever's speaking English can read it. Like there's all this random back talk chatter that you have to sub.
Yeah, it's completely pointless. I remember
it takes so much time.
Yeah. I know that like when Craig, I'm pretty sure he doesn't do it anymore, but Craig used to like manage the Tumblr for the subgroup, and he would answer questions, and like a lot like I remember like a lot of questions were like could you sub the movie, or could you sub the documentary? And then Craig was like, yeah, we want to, but it's probably not gonna happen.
I laughed because Craig was always like he would answer like the Tumblr with like really like PC answers, but when it was my turn it'd be like, can we sub this? I'm like, I don't want to sub it, it's really boring.
Yeah, that's why Craig should handle it rather than you. Not that we do anything with it anymore, but
I do think one of the problems is that like when we sub stuff, like it's like we have to watch it too, right?
Yeah.
And because there's so much going on, there's other things we'd rather pay attention to, and that's why I wish there were more Japanese speakers, because like for stuff that we don't watch, like it's a really good way for like them to tell us about what they watched instead of us having to like translate it for them, and it turns out it's boring or stuff. There might be like some really good stuff. And I get this a lot from Twitter, right? Like especially the French NMB fans who are always awesome, I have to say. There will be like TV shows and stuff that I've never heard of, I never knew were broadcasting, or I had no interest in, and they would post like a quick translation or like a GIF or something, and it'd be really funny. And I'm like, well, I'm glad they existed, because like if it weren't for them, I would never figure this out, or I'd never find this.
So, good example is like okay, so there's this like BKB show that like nobody watches because it always has the 100 yen chance, and it's on like
you can't just say that without explaining it.
That's
so
a big
there's what 100 yen chan is, or what the BKB show is.
Yeah.
100 yen chan is it's a semi-derogatory term. So we call
coined by Andy.
Yeah, coined by Andy. It's the so when you buy like AKB CDs, they always give you photos, right? And then Andy, like, okay, so these photos can be traded or sold or whatever, and then so like usually the lowest value you can get for anything in Japan is like 100 yen. So the girls, the photos that go for like 100 yen, that basically means the girl is not really very popular, right? So we call these girls the 100 yen chans. So,
yeah, and then sometimes
have some examples of 100 yen chans.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Well, if we want examples, we'll just give the name to Matt, and if he can read it, it's probably not 100 yen chan.
I thought you were gonna say like go look at like Nathan's Oshi list or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Probably like all of his list is like the 100 yen chance. No, so
yeah, we try to play with it too. We used to try to call him like Daiso-chan, Daiso-chans, but it's not. It doesn't take off. It's not as cool. It's not as cool as 100 yen or 100 yen.
100 yen chance.
Do you think that's like a big part of getting fans into the community? Is like they don't know all these lingo and terms. Is like kind of.
Well, like 100 yen chan is just like between us.
Yeah.
Like I don't think anybody else uses it.
No, we could try to get it. Try to
but
get
even like the more like wota specific terms, like first time like I heard something about from Andy, he's talking about ren banning with some guy, and I'm like, what's a rinban? And he's like, oh, he's talking about rinban. So I had to go into Google, and it's like, these are wota terms. It's not something you just like Google like in Google Translate or whatever, or like
No,
type
it
in
doesn't
Japanese Renban. What the fuck is a Renban?
Yeah,
And then,
it doesn't mean anything in Japanese.
Yeah.
If you Google it in Japanese, I think it says like sequential number. I had the same problem like the first time I heard it.
Yeah,
What the hell is a sequential number?
Yeah. So I had to like find some random like fan
Using
blog.
the math term.
Yeah. So like I found like some random fan blog, and it has like had all these like bunch of terms listed, and like the more I went down the list, like I found like just like really cringy words like kima wota and like ona wota. So like basically someone that likes only girl fans, and stuff like that. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I'm like, this stuff's just dumb. And so when you guys use like these words in like English conversations, like with English speakers, I feel really cringy because like, wait, just say it in English, idiot. Like, don't use the Japanese terms.
I don't know, because sometimes it's easier to say Japanese terms instead of like the English, especially because we don't use English terms, right? Like, oh, you should renbon with me. It's like, oh, that makes so much more sense than, oh, we should line up and see this idol. Like, look how many words that is.
Let's line up together.
And we never see that.
Let's line up together.
But it also implies that you go back to back, right? Like I don't know. I kind of figured out renbon because ren is like renzoku, right? Like they're linked together.
Yeah, renbon literally means like to go together. Like you can renbon a concert, for example.
You say link up, though, it makes me think of like Game Boy. Like you're gonna play some Tetris together or something.
Actually, today I realized like someone used the term tanban to me.
What's that?
Which is the opposite of renban. It's to go alone.
Oh.
So okay, yeah, that makes sense. But like I've never heard that before. But yeah, renban and what's a hard term? Like what?
It's like kageshime.
Kageshime kageake.
Yeah, so it just means like the first person, last person, I guess, to see the member. But
yeah,
you can say opener, closer, I guess. But
that would actually.
Yeah, but like you think of.
Yeah.
I don't know. You think closer. I think either like a pitcher.
Yeah.
But it's not the same because you still have to explain it, right?
Fans, the handshake event.
No, like for example, like senbatsu, for example, that makes zero sense. Like even in Japanese, that makes no sense.
Yeah,
but it also makes perfect sense because people use it for everything, right? Like, oh, the senbatsu for the Olympics is, and it's just like, oh, hey, is the senbatsu for the Olympics?
Yeah,
it's like, no, they're just telling you. They're just telling you who they're sending to the Olympics.
Yeah, it means selection, but it's really weird. Like for example, okay, it's a good example of like a really stupid term that wotas use that no one else uses. It's the sokaku. So when I say sokaku, like wotas will understand that means like a team shuffle, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually mean that in Japanese because a sokaku is never used unless it's for the fucking cabinet.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
It's for the prime minister's cabinet. When he does a sokaku, it means he fires everybody and like gets
re-elects everyone. Yeah.
So like when you say sokaku, that clearly means you're wota. Like you would never use this in like normal conversation unless you were talking about like the government.
At the same time, like when it comes to us, like being foreign fans, like that's the only time we'll ever hear sokaku, right?
Yeah.
So we like a lot of foreign fans will know what sokaku is. I don't think it ever turns any foreign fan off. It's like, oh, what's sokaku? It's like, oh, it's the team shuffle, right?
Yeah.
But it becomes so like synonymous that like it's easier to pick up.
Yeah. You would never say. Well, I guess like team shuffle makes sense, right? So like, for example, like a Zenkoku or Kobetsu, right? Like that sounds really weird in English if you say like a national handshake or individual handshake. It sounds stupid. Because it's a specific term that like only AKB uses, like Kobetsu and Zenkoku. So like when I say, okay, I'm gonna go to a Zenaku tomorrow, then so you automatically understand, right? Like, oh, there's gonna be a mini live, there's gonna be like lanes that you can go with like the Zenaku tickets, right? If I say I'm gonna go to a national handshake, like what does that mean?
I think you know it. If you already know AKB, you know the concept. That national handshake event. Okay, those are the tickets that come with the CDs that you can buy at any CD store. Whereas individual is like the special theater edition ones that you have to pre-order in advance.
Yeah, but it's not really commonly. Is it commonly used in the?
Yeah. English fans, we'll say national handshake events.
But I don't. I think that's more of like people not wanting to say Zenaku.
Yeah.
But like you'll never say national handshake for anything in the U.S. or any other English-speaking country. Like,
well,
I don't
do they
think
do
that,
handshake
like,
events? I guess they just do like like meet and greets.
Meet and greets. Yeah. That's how.
When you go to Comic
say
Con or
it,
something.
Yeah, but like you wouldn't say like, oh, I'm gonna go to an AKB meet and greet because I bought their CD. Like you would say National Handshake, which is really just a direct translation of Zenkoku, right? So I really don't think like these specialty terms like really turn off fans from joining NMB or even our community.
I think knowing them helps them get into it.
Yeah.
I think it might be intimidating, but like I remember when Andy told me, it's like, hey, we should Renbon for Saipi or something, right? And I was like, what the hell's Renbon?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that is. But like I just asked, and he's like, oh, it just means like we line up together, right? And okay, that makes sense, right? That's it. Problem solved. It's over. So I don't think like the vocabulary, like this kind of specialized otaku vocabulary, like
no,
really
I think it's more a general issue of like not being familiar with Japanese in general, right? Rather than the specific terms. Like, I don't know, if you live here long enough or if you're in the fandom long enough, like all these otaku terms just like become normal to you, right?
Or it's like my case where I know more wota terms than I know actual proper Japanese.
You disgust me.
Or, I came in Japan, if I had like a proper understanding of Japanese, I took classes in college and stuff, I've been there for a few years, and then I learned these wota terms that completely like, what the hell are you talking about?
No, I don't think that's as common as you might think. I feel like if you have like the basic structure of knowledge of Japanese and like a wota term is just a new vocabulary word, right? Yeah. There's no like special grammar to like using kageshime or whatever. Like if somebody says, "Oh, like what's kageshime?" and you say like, "Oh, it's like the guy that closes the door or whatever," right? So the guy that at the end, like, "Oh, that makes perfect sense," right? I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think these wota terms really scare off anybody from joining the fandom. I feel like if we use them too much and some guy doesn't know, then usually like because our community is pretty small, like you shouldn't be afraid to ask. Like, oh, what's kageshime? Like, oh, okay, this is the guy that like ends the handshake for that slaughter.
And also like these are things that you don't really ever encounter unless you're actually in an event, right? So like kageshime, right? Like you would never. I know one time I kagiaked with kagiake is the opposite of kageshime. It's open. Yeah. I kagiaked with Craig. And I actually gave him the kagiake. And
so yeah, sloppy seconds.
Huh?
Kagi.
No, I mean
sloppy age.
We happen to be standing in line. It's horrible, Matt.
Guda Niban.
Yeah. No. Oh my god.
Oh god.
It's horrible.
Hey, I just learned what that meant.
That's why you need to learn Japanese so you can understand these stupid Japanese English jokes that don't make any sense to Japanese.
Or like we have like the other like terms like we use in our like inner circle, like the gaijin train or whatever. That's just when you just have a bunch of like gaijins go and see the same member all in a row like a train.
Yes, see the same member.
Yeah.
Yes, see it. Not know it.
I would have liked the
like a zoo.
Use the double entendre of saying we all come to see the member or something like that. That would have been pretty cool.
It's horrible.
Okay.
I'll try to keep it PG.
Yeah.
Fellas.
Man, you just cussed a while ago. Now I gotta put this in the explicit podcast.
PG-13. My bad.
You could bleep it.
You get one fuck in PG-13 films, and when you just
use
well,
said second time.
Now you use two of them.
Well, anyway, I think with learning Japanese or knowing Japanese, it also just makes it. If you go to events, it opens more doors, like which members you can go and see. Because if you only speak English, at least now in NMB, there's not really an English speaker in the group these days.
You just go to Anshu.
Yeah, Anshu, yeah, that's why I go to her now because she's crazy gaijin, as she says.
We've had this conversation like in a previous podcast, I guess, like what you want to get out of handshakes, because like the normal gaijin handshake experience is like, hey, I'm blah blah blah, I come from America, and then the girl will answer one of two ways, I guess, like, oh, America, that sounds great, or I love you.
Or they'll say something they
Or-
think they know about America, which
Yeah.
like the one time I think I was going through the 5th Gen Gauntlet, I was wearing the American flag robe, and someone said England. And I was like, what?
Same colors. It's all good.
So when I went to Mocha and I told her, "Oh, I went to the U.S. like last week," she's like, "U.S." So I said I went to Boston. Actually, I actually said I went to Boston because I wanted to say that I was gonna go. I went to meet Jeff. I went to Boston last week, and he's like, "Oh, you went to Boston. Oh, I want to go to Brooklyn." Yeah, but I didn't go to Brooklyn. But the thing is, like, that's all she knows about America. She wants to go see Brooklyn.
Yeah, I think I remember like with Milky, like if you say America, all she'll ask about it was either New York or Hawaii. Those are the 2 things she was obsessed with at the time.
Let's also not forget the stock Japanese answer of Nihongo Jozu desu ne.
Oh
which
my
means,
god,
your-
I hate that
Your Japanese
so
is
much.
pretty good. And if you're gonna pay for a handshake for them to tell you that your Japanese is good, you could just go on the street and say konnichiwa, and somebody will say Nihongo Jozu desu ne.
I actually think that that's an insult because I guess for Matt it wouldn't be, but like for us like Asian looking people, no. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying like for Asian looking people, if you get the Nihongo
Yeah.
Jozu desu ne, that just means that your Japanese sucks. But you're able to like communicate at a baby level, and then they want to praise you for it. If it's
Yeah,
Matt,
'cause-
then it doesn't matter because it's clearly a white guy, so I could say the Nihongo Jozu desu ne no matter what. Because if you do a Nihongo Jozu desu ne to an actual Japanese person, you might get slapped in the face.
It's a SCOMI or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I do I forget, but like when I have like good rapport with somebody, I will say like, and they say like Nihongo Jozu desu ne, I'm like, oh yeah, your Japanese is pretty good too. Like Maru-maru-san, Nihongo mo jozu desu ne. That's only if I'm really good friends with them, because like I can kind of expect their response.
Yeah, but like as you said, right? Like if you do it with an idol, like the thing is like one good thing to remember is that you're not special. Like no matter like I don't know, you could be from Antarctica or something and they probably have met a penguin before or something. Right? So like you could be like from an obscure like country in Southeast Asia and they probably have had someone come to them from that country. Unless we're
Yeah.
talking like the extreme like 100 yen chance, right? So if it's like
Yeah, I still remember what's her face, Saki P. When I met her, she had like the craziest look in her eye. I was like, oh yeah, I'm from the U.S. I came to see you, and she's like, what? Like, why would you come from the U.S.? So something like that.
So sometimes there's misunderstandings too,
Mm.
like with the girls, like they think that you came from America to see them, which is
Yeah.
I guess in a way it's correct, but not really.
That's how me and Andy got our shout out from Rikati when she's like, people came from overseas to see me, like during the 5th Gen Gauntlet, and it's like, yeah, we did,
Just for you.
just for the 5th Gens, right?
Yeah. So like with someone like Matt, right? Like so for example, like with like white guys in handshakes, like there's a bunch of white guys in handshakes.
White guys and handshakes sounds like a great like movie name.
It's my new band name.
Yeah.
It's part 3 of White Chicks. White guys in handshakes. No. So so you usually get like so if you don't have enough Japanese to tie it back to the original topic, if you don't have enough Japanese, that's all you get. Like you could like memorize something like you could try to say it in Japanese, right? Like America kara kimashita mato desu or something. You could say that, right? And then you get
In my
Sugoi
case, though,
ne,
they hear
or-
Natto. This,
yeah.
and I'm like, no, my name's not Natto. It's Matto.
Yeah, you get stuff like that, right? And then it's 10 seconds, so it's very very short. So
That's why you buy multiple tickets so you can like give yourself some chance to course correct in case I mishear something.
Yeah, but the thing is,
No.
like, you can't
No.
really have much of conversation if that's all you can say,
Yeah,
right? oh, I'm from America. Okay. I think the next thing is like where in America, and then you can say like Seattle, and then
No, I don't think they know that much about.
Or I'll
the
ask like,
US.
what's your impression of America? Or what do you like from America? What do you know? You know, I might ask them about that.
yeah. And
If
get,
you
like,
went to
here's the-
America, where would you want to go? You know, it's that kind of thing. And of course, the answers will be like
here's-
New York, Hawaii, Las Vegas. Katamina told me Las Vegas once.
What?
Yeah. I was like, what? Yeah, that's what my reaction too. Like, what? Okay.
It's a gambling problem.
Yeah, probably. Or wants to be a stripper.
Can join with that one girl from SKE, the alcoholic, and have a lot of fun.
Hey, did you watch that, Matt?
What?
Furuhata Nao's speech.
It's good. It's good. It's funny.
It's hilarious.
It's not supposed to be funny. It's not
I don't
really.
know.
It's not good because it's good quality.
Joe,
But
Joe
she's
and
like,
I were
I'm
cracking
gonna-
up when we were watching it. It was like, what the hell are you saying? Like, I don't know. So I've been in Japan like a long time, and I'm pretty sure like
Oh, yeah,
even
yeah, yeah.
with Japanese
She had a
people,
drinking
like,
problem. That was the
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
What the hell are you saying? She said
Yeah, I
something
love
like, I
alcohol.
really like to drink. Okay. And she like listed the stuff that she likes to drink. Oh, I like to drink like whiskey, beer, like
Vodka.
vodka.
Highball.
That-
Highball was her favorite. I remember that.
Highball is whiskey. So that's like okay. And then she's like, "Oh, my dream is like one day to like go on a drinking binge with my fans." What?
That's gonna be excellent. I think me and Ryan would go to that event, even though we don't like her.
So, oh, highball!
That's what we were
Well,
hoping from Guam was like a drinking binge with the members, but
Yeah, it's of course
There's-
Yeah, that shit.
not as fun.
But here, let me. I want to bring it back. I want to talk about like your handshakes, right? Because I think I really enjoy reading handshake reports, and I know a lot of people like reading Andy's handshake reports, right? And like he has like a report with certain members, and like he gets into these topics that no one else usually gets. Like if you read a lot of like the handshake threads or like handshake reports by like a lot of foreigners, a lot of times it's the same thing that Ryan just said, right? Like,
I'm
yeah,
from this
I came from
country.
the U.S. to see you, or I came from whatever to see you, and I really like you, and it's just like that's it, right? Like, not only like is it kind of lame for you, I guess, but like also if you're like as part of like joining the community or whatever, right? Like we really look forward to seeing how other people interact with certain members, and to see something that's just like always the same thing, right? Like, oh, you're good at Japanese, or like and then she said something in Japanese that I didn't understand. It's like it's kind of a turnoff from our community, right? Because we want to enjoy reading these reports. I want to know more about these girls that I'm probably never going to see.
Yeah, that's the thing with if you rin down with Andy, he'll usually be right behind you, stand right behind you, and he'll try to listen to your conversation. So if he misses something, if you miss something that they said, he'll like probably tell you afterwards, or if the member didn't understand something you said, he'll try saying what you meant to say to them. So
Oh, I did that for Craig.
yeah,
I asked so well, I guess it's kind of my fault because I told him to tell Yuri something, and then she couldn't understand, so I had to explain it afterwards.
yeah, you do that with me when I go to see Yuri also, because
That's how you get extra value, right? Like you get to use the person in front of you to start the conversation for you.
That's okay. So when I
Cheating
remban
assholes.
with someone, like I don't know if I did it for Matt. I think I did it for Matt too. So I would like go in, right, and then I would say like, oh, I have this friend. His name is Matt. He's from the U.S. So yoroshiku.
ego ganbatte.
Yeah, and it's like I'd say like ego ganbatte, and then
And then like goes into panic, like what?
I've only did that once. I did it with Suzu, right? And I had Rona and Jason behind me, and I was like when I went up, I was like, hey, the two people behind me are like from the Philippines, so I want you to greet them with kamustaka. And they were like, and she's like, okay, and she actually did it, right? And they were like smitten, but then they're not even NMB fans anymore, so I don't know why.
I think
But, like,
Rona's
they were
still
like-
an NB fan.
Oh, she's just a Sayaka fan.
Sayaka
She's
fan.
Sayaka fan, yeah. Jason's not.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I thought it was funny, and I was just like, hey, say like this thing in this other language that you're like, I'm not like, I could have said like, hey, say putangi namo, that means hello, right? Like she wouldn't know the difference.
It's SOB.
Yeah, you can find a clip on Japanese news of the president saying it to the press. I don't know if you remember that screenshot.
I remember.
They had
I
they had
remember.
like a picture of Duterte, and he's like "Putanginamo," and it's like this means, and it's like in Japanese, like this means that
Your
he
mother
slept
is a
with your mother.
whore. No, and the funny thing was that they even had like katakana for it. They had like pronunciation guide for it. Guys, you don't need to say that. You don't need to explain it.
But it's all formal too. That's what made it like more funny, right? It's like formal Japanese program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's when if you watch NHK and they're trying to explain like what Trump did today. It's like it's the funniest thing because they try to make sense of it and they say it in like the most like stiff upper lip Japanese way because NHK, right? So NHK cannot take sides and it's not entertainment, it's like news. So they say, the president said today that Haiti is a shithole. They had the thing is like they can't say shithole because it's a curse word. So they was like a word that means like a very bad place.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So
from one shithole to another.
Yeah. From one shithole to a sinkhole.
But anyway, like so like if you renbon with us, like fine, we can give you that. That's okay. But generally, like when I see handshake reports, I want to know more about some other girl that I might not necessarily see on my own, right? I think that's really exciting to see. And if you don't know any Japanese, or all you say is like I'm from the U.S., like God, dude, your report is so boring, right? I don't know anything about the girl. Instead, I like just learned that the girl will probably try and speak some English that probably sucks, and it's just not entertaining from like a community perspective. I think.
What would you recommend they do?
What do you mean? What would I recommend?
Study Japanese.
Yeah, obviously I'd say like study Japanese, right? But like, I don't even know. Like because people might take this and they're like, oh, that means I got to sign up for classes, or whatever. But like, I've met like. I've met like a couple people that like, yeah, Rosetta Stone,
Duolingo,
most useful program, right? At least Duolingo is somewhat useful.
Hello Talk.
I mean, like you should be at least interested in the language and like translate maybe like one or two things and like learn what they mean like every time like you interact in like the idol world. I think that wouldn't be too much to ask for because like the more you learn of these like one or two words and stuff. And you just start building up that vocabulary. You don't need like a mastery of like Japanese, right? You don't need your JLPT, like, but like some people that like are really like dedicated fans end up like learning like a little bit of Japanese and like correspondingly that helps them become more of like an idol fan. And then they interact with us, the community, and like we'll learn about things. Like Brian never finished the story about BKB. But I'm gonna assume that his story was gonna be like some person like watches BKB and like translates some of the funny parts, and like I'm really thankful for that. Like that's the kind of stuff that like I would never watch on my own, right? Because that show kind of sucks. But sometimes there are good stuff. Show. Sometimes there is really good stuff, like Nagisa like trying to kick the ball and like failing horribly. I don't know if you saw that.
That's not BKB though. I think that's Genkai Toppa.
Oh no, yeah. Okay, never mind. I was completely wrong.
Genkai Toppa was a really good show. I wish they didn't cancel it.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, if you want to like be like, because we always want to build a stronger community, and I think helping like, if you know Japanese, you can contribute to this community more. Whereas like when we translate stuff, it just feels like people just take our stuff and run to wherever they go with it. Maybe they'll like watch it in passing.
No, I mentioned this before. I was telling Joe that like we shouldn't. I kind of disagree with that because like I don't feel like people have a obligation to give back. Like we'd be happy if people gave back. That'd be great, actually. But like, there's always levels of fans, and like people who just consume, like a lot of people just consume the translated stuff, right, and don't do anything with it. Like, I mean, they're not really very big NMB fans. They don't really care that much about NMB, but just like they have a passing interest, and then like, oh, what are these cute girls doing today? And then, right, they just watch this thing.
The way you said that sounds so creepy. It's like, what are these schoolboys across the street doing this?
Inside an ice cream truck, like behind the pool. No. No.
What is there an ice cream truck there for?
No, so my point is that like there is no obligation to give back, but it's always like more fun. Like that's what we keep harping on about, right?
Yeah.
Like it's always like I started like I can consume idol stuff by myself. It doesn't matter, right? I speak Japanese, whatever.
It also sounds funny without context. I can consume idols by myself.
No,
Whoa.
I say I can consume idol media by myself, but
Okay.
like so I started like Twitter as just like, oh, who are these? Like I found out that there were some NMB fans on Twitter. I actually found like Joe's blog because someone was actually Jason linked it to me because he said because it was after the Sokaku and Joe wrote some like really long thing about like the first Sokaku, like the one with the Yukirin and Churi and Murashige and all that.
Yeah,
like,
I think I was crying because I liked ODEP too.
Yeah, me too. So I was like really, really freaking upset at that Sokaku thing. And then I remember like Jason like saying, "Oh, hey, there's this guy who like has the same exact like opinion as us, and go read this." It's like, oh, right. So there's like some like English speaking like NMB fans. So I read like Joe's blog and everything, and then found out that he was on Twitter, and so like, okay, let's because I got on Twitter, but I never got interacted with anyone. I was just like reading stuff.
You just follow everyone.
Really creepy. Sounds really creepy too. But follow everyone, right? And then eventually, like you see something that you want to like interact with, like, oh no, that's wrong. So no, she actually said this, or whatever, or like someone says like, oh, Sokaku sucks, and then you reply, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Right? So something like even like simple stuff like that, like, oh, you like it or whatever. But I mean, like, so you would be surprised at like how many like English speaking fans are on Twitter though, because when I posted the news about like the NMB girls being safe after the earthquake, I got a shit ton of retweets. I don't know why. Like, who are these people and why are they retweeting me?
Yeah.
So there's a bunch, I guess.
Going along with what you said is like, I don't want people to be like, oh, you have to learn Japanese or you can't join our community. It's not like that, but like, it's so much more fun. Like when you start contributing to the community, and then like you start to get some of the others get stuff back. Like I think that's really fun. Like you might say, like your translation might be lost in the wind. I don't know. Every time I see stuff of mine that gets translated or that was translated and is reposted, like that always like gives me like, oh yeah, like I did it. Like somebody actually like
saw me do something.
Yeah, or like what I did is still like, you know, I contributed to a community. I contributed to like making somebody's day better. Yeah, I think like somebody posted like a translated like not Gainen, Naniwa Nadeshiko clip that I did like a long time ago. I was like, hey, that was me. And I think that's really like, to me that's kind of cool, right? And then to see more people like get involved in the community and seeing people like tell me stuff about girls that I have no interest in following, like aside like other than in passing, like I think that's really cool. That's what I want to see more of in this community. Again, not an obligation, but more like it's cool. You should do it.
Are you saying you want to see more NMB memes?
Why not?
Yeah, you can make NMB memes without
knowing Japanese. Yeah. You just need a picture and put impact font on it, and that's maybe whatever, unrelated. That's a meme.
No, so like for example, like Lulu before, like she's like, I don't know, half out of the fandom nowadays, but she would like create like these image macros, and it would be really funny because she would put like Renapion's head on like a chicken or something. I forgot what was it. but
I think she did it with like the Little Mermaid like cover or something. Like she replaced like all the characters with like
NMB.
NMB. Yeah.
Yeah. So she used to do like funny stuff like that, and then like she got like likes from Renapion and Keiichi all the time for her like weird stuff. And there's also like the French girl, right, Hachiko, and she would get like retweets from Nagisa. Not to say that like you should do this just to get like noticed by the girls.
Yeah, don't fish for attention from the members.
That means you, Craig.
I thought Hachiko was a dude, not a girl.
I don't know. I think she's a girl though, because I remember like Joe, the French Joe, saying that the other French fans were girls. I'm sorry if you're a guy. I don't remember.
Interesting. I always assumed it was a dude because the way like he posts about certain girls, I was like, that's probably a dude.
Okay, so maybe it's a dude. I don't know.
But I don't know. Can't say for sure.
Yeah.
Until we meet the person.
We don't judge here.
Yeah, we do. How can you be Idol fans and not judge? It's so weird to me. Alright, Matt, do you have any other comments that you wanted to ask? Comments that you want to ask? Questions you want to ask? Or comments you want to make?
I think I'm good.
Yeah. Did you how did you feel about what we just discussed?
Memes. That's what I discussed, so I don't really listen to what you guys are saying. Actually...
None. What? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's just many ways you can contribute to the fan community, which may or may not require Japanese. Yeah, it's as simple as adding words to a picture, changing a picture with another picture. One thing I did is I combined the high tension music video and added Nintendo Switch videos to it, because they both use the same snapping sound effect. And that requires no Japanese knowledge to know, so... And like you do that with Joe, you do that with like you add the Hulk Hogan Real American to
but that's just like stupid crap that I don't expect anybody to be
exactly. And that's why like when you do stuff, you're saying like you like getting noticed, but when you do that stupid crap and someone does notice it feels really really good.
Yeah,
like Boy and his stupid Oyuka.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that's the ultimate. Up. That's the dream, right? Although I don't think he cares very much about Oyuka. But he got like the ultimate like Shishin. It's not even Shishin, it's like it's a public.
He didn't even tweet at her.
Yeah. Someone tweeted at her with his stuff.
Or she searched her name up on Twitter, which
she said in her message that somebody somebody direct messaged her on like Instagram saying that they should check out the video.
No, a bunch of people, basically a lot of people tweeted at her that someone edited her speech and added like the music and stuff. I don't know. I watched the thing. It wasn't that high quality. I'm sorry, boy. You probably don't watch this.
Well,
you probably don't listen to
but
this.
like,
it doesn't matter.
It's not that it's supposed to be high quality. It's just like it's just some like one of like. If somebody like retweeted one of our video, like my Real American video, right? Like, it's not something I expect when I make it. Like, I just want to make something stupid. Like, I think that's the same thing he did, and then all of a sudden gets to like Ogiyuka. It's like, what the hell? It's not like the trap music. I think is like totally an American thing too, right?
Yeah.
So like, I don't. So it's like it's even weird for him to get that kind of response from her. Like,
the thing is, like, he wasn't even expecting any attention. I think.
Yeah.
So it was.
We were gonna record Wado to people. What were we thinking? At least I still know the choreography.
Oh, I watched. Speaking of Wado to people, just like as a weird aside, I watched like the Produce 48 like performance of Wado to people. It seemed like the judges enjoyed it. I didn't watch the whole thing, so I just watched that clip and the reactions while they were performing. Like the people seemed to enjoy it. Which one of you watched Produce?
I didn't watch the second episode.
Yeah, I watched the first episode last night.
Because the subs came out earlier today, so I'm probably gonna check it out tomorrow.
Okay, we should get like Daryl to talk about Produce. He's the only one who cares.
We shouldn't get him to talk about anything. we'll see a lot of misinformation. Yeah, that's the thing. He posted like boys like video, right?
Yeah.
And then like in the tweet, Oyuka says like, "Oh, some people direct message me on Instagram saying I should watch this video."
Yeah.
And
Daryl was one of them.
And Daryl said like, "See, look, like somebody like she's searching her name." It's like she's not searching her name. She just said in the tweet that somebody people direct message her the video.
I mean, I could speak from experience that certain idols do search their name in Twitter looking for
I think a lot of them do. Like you would be surprised. Sayaka does it because like people like you know the thing with Sayaka where the joke with Sayaka where she likes the
haters.
anti-tweets, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is like you will notice like the anti-tweets aren't even like atted at her.
Yeah.
So she actively looks for these tweets and then like likes them.
I know that like on one of the stages, like Anchi said something that like they read like all their like people like because sometimes you don't get a reply right when you tweet at them, but she's like, "Oh, we read it, so you better watch out what you say because we're reading it." Yeah. I think it's her and like Azusa that said that. I don't remember. It sounds like it would be them because they're both B2.
So I had a friend. Speaking of this, I had a friend who. So remember Joe at the end of the Senkyo concert when the NMB girls came over to our area and was waving at the back stand because they didn't know that we were in front.
Yeah, because we weren't loud enough. Ugh,
yeah, well, yeah, that and they thought so. Nobody told them that the seats changed. So there were two concerts, right? There was like seating for the first concert and there was seating for the second concert. And apparently,
you mean the election?
The election, yeah. Okay, first concert and then the election. So apparently staff didn't tell them that like the seating changed. So they thought their fans were on the back stand because that was where the fans were where the NMB fans were in the first concert. So you could see like Yuri standing like right in front of us, but not looking at us and looking at the back stand and then like waving and then holding her trophy up to show to the fans. And then like
we should have been louder. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of our fault too, right? Because we weren't like the Yuri fans weren't wearing like Yuri shirts or anything, so it wasn't really obvious it was a Yuri section. But
you should have given me one so I didn't have to wear the In and Out shirt.
Yeah. Hey, you got the Shishin from Suzuran.
Yeah, whatever.
So
there's our fourth one.
So my friend like tweeted something about like it was really funny that like Yuri didn't like notice that her fans were right in front of her, blah blah blah. So during the handshake the next day, like that was the first thing she said to her. Yuri said to my friends like, "Hey, I saw your tweet yesterday. Like, were you actually in front?" And then it's like, so I was asking like, how did Yuri find your tweet? And then she said, yeah, she probably searches her name because like she wrote out like the kanji Yuri.
Okay.
So you guys wanted to know what I talk about with Yuri. That's one.
Now we know.
Wow, really boring. Anyway, let's take this opportunity. Well, let's take this opportunity to end this segment. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We didn't really have like if you're looking for like this conclusion, like this is what I should do to become a better fan. Like we don't really have any. Just hope you enjoyed the discussion. If you have anything to add, like maybe you want to say like studying Japanese is hard. I don't know how to do it. Like can you help or I don't know anything. Like we appreciate any comments. Again, tweet at us, leave something on the YouTube or on our Libsyn page where you can listen. You can leave comments there too, and we try and take everything into account. And we're really interested in what you guys have to say. I said that like in the fakest way. I'm sorry, but because there's this one guy like he came into the last one. He's like the eating and drinking sounds are really annoying, and I'm just like, God, dude, he's right. We suck, right? So like we do like pay attention to your comments. It seems like we get a lot from Vlad, so shout out to Vlad.
Hey, Vlad.
Yo, Vlad.
All right. And, if you have any comments or questions, like, feel free to, like...
Actually, like, if you guys have it... So, I heard that the meta topics are the most popular ones, like, because we keep saying that it's the most popular one. So, if people want to hear about certain things. So we've had this conversation, right? Like when we talked about like the wota terms, like the TO and then the kozan and all that. Apparently that was like received rather well, and I thought it was really boring. But so the thing is, like, that just further proves that I don't know anything. So if anyone has like, so if the people listening to this have like any ideas, like topics that you think would be interesting that you want us to talk about, like, yeah, just let us know.
Yeah, if you have any suggestions for meta topics, hit us up in the comments or add us on Twitter.
Did you enjoy this podcast, Matt? So at least you're honest. That's what I like to hear. Okay, I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode. This is Joe signing off for both Ryan and Matt. Take care. See you guys later.
Bye bye.
Peace.